Hey guys, Ryan here. I want to make this video to show you how you can add some really cool, unique things to your value proposition when you're talking to GHL clients and maybe sell to organizations that are heavily reliant on SMS to communicate with their customers. And if that's the case, there's a high chance they would like to use things that are happening in and around the city and the environment as, forces that can either drive people into store or to buy something or whatever, right? So flight prices, weather, sporting results, all of these things, or a combination of these things put together, could impact, their economic cycles, right? So if that's the case, you might say to your gym customers, if you go after gyms, hey, we can recognize when it's a really cold, rainy day, and we can automatically send a bunch of SMSs out to everybody to say, hey, just because it's raining and it's cold doesn't mean you get to slack off and miss a gym day. Get back in here. We have the heaters on. We're all prepared for cold weather. We've done this for customers like Airbnb when we decided that we would deploy SMS, and we was like taking into consideration things like, flight prices, layering that in with the weather in the destination and the forecast for the week to come. And we would combine all those things together and say, these people live in this city. They have an opportunity to get cheap travel to a destination that's forecasted to be warm this week. Send them a bunch of SMSs with a discount code. And it worked a treat, right? So think about how you could start to talk to customers about using real-time information to personalize things like SMS. And it doesn't have to be SMS. It can be anything at all. Email, Facebook messengers, whatever, right? So hopefully this demonstration inspires you to come up with a couple of use cases that you haven't thought of before, right? So let's have a quick look. It is super simple. We jump straight into creating a custom field. So of course we've got the information about a contact here. This person lives in San Francisco. That's important because I'm going to use that to ask what the weather is. And then I've just created a custom field. It's a numerical custom field, and it's called weather today. So it's blank right now, which is great. We want it to be blank because right now I don't have this updating on a daily basis, but you could update it on a daily basis, and you could say when the weather reaches a particular temperature, then flick out an SMS and say, it's cold today, but we're serving hot food or whatever, right? So I've built this in Integromat because it's just 3 steps. So here it is. I've got a webhook. So grab the webhook URL. Then we go over to our workflow, pass that webhook URL into the first step. And I'm going to wait a minute because I'm doing an update. So I just need to give it at least a minute just to make sure that the update has actually gone through before I try and send an SMS with the value. So a minute, you could probably extend that out maybe 2 or 3 minutes, but for the purpose of this demonstration, I didn't want you sitting here waiting for 5 minutes, right? So once we've got that, we take the city from where they live, we pass it into the whatever API for a weather we can find, and of course you could use this for anything, but I'm just using it for the weather, right? And then I'm using a proprietary module for GHL update, but you can use the standard one. Pass the contact ID in, go and update your custom field with the result from the API call. And I rounded it to a whole number, stripping the decimal places off. Because if you look at the results from the API, I was actually passing in specific up to 2 decimal places. So I don't want to send a message saying, hey, it's going to be 13.75 today or whatever. Plus I'm in degrees Celsius here, so apologies for my Southern Hemisphere metric system language. But anyway, we all know what we're talking about. So here we go. So 3 steps. Took me 2 minutes to make that. 2 minutes to make this. What's the weather like? Wait a minute. Now, if the weather is less than 15 degrees, chuck an SMS out. Oh my God, it's cold. It's meant to be, whatever the weather is. Degrees today, don't let it stop you getting in the gym. We've got the heaters on, free pies, whatever. Okay, so let's test it out. Run, listen for new, go over here, run it on this guy, which is me. Run a test. Moment of truth. There it is. There it is. 1, 2, 3. Just to show you the output of that. Great, worked. Then we would expect, if we refreshed this contact, move my face out of the way. Look for the updated weather information. It's 13 degrees wherever he lives. Good. And then I'll just check my phone. Oh my God, it's cold today. Meant to be 13 degrees. Don't let it stop you getting in the gym. We've got the heaters on. Now you probably can't. No, you can't read it. But you can see in GHL, oh my God, it's cold today. Meant to be 13 degrees today. Blah, 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 blah. There you go. So hopefully this inspires you to do some really cool stuff and showcase just how awesome you are. There you go. There it's come through now. Meant to be 13 degrees. Showcase how cool you are. And that you can do some really sophisticated, cool stuff. And it doesn't matter how big or small the organization that you're working with is. This stuff could potentially be a game changer for them. Hope you liked the video. If you did, please like and subscribe because it helps me get recommended. And that's all I'm doing it for. Just want to be part of the community and give back to you guys. Thank you. Cheers.